Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another daily dose of Battlebond spoilers. And oh my god, so many cards, so many sweet reprints. I gotta say, before we talk about the cards, and you'll see why I'm saying this as we go through the video, I feel like Battlebond is somehow the Masters set we were hoping for with Masters 25 and Iconic Masters, especially at $4 a pack. I legitimately think this is a better reprint set than either of our last two Master sets. It is so sweet. Plus, it's got some really interesting new cards. So before we jump into it, super quick reminder, these cards, not legal in Standard, not legal in Modern, not legal in Brawl, but they are legal in Commander, other casual multiplayer formats like Twitter Giant, which the set is designed for, Legacy, Vintage. So anyway, let's jump right into it, starting with the new cards, then we'll talk about the reprints. First off, we got a new Mythic, and whoo, is it a spicy one. Arena Rector. So 4 mana, you get a 1/2. Doesn't really jump off the page as far as stats are concerned, but the ability is pretty insane. When it dies, you can exile it. If you exile it, you get to search for a Planeswalker card and put it directly onto the battlefield and shuffle your library. So this is a callback to Academy Rector, which still shows up in Legacy decks to this day to tutor out big enchantments, game-winning enchantments, huge curses, and so forth. Arena Rector does something similar. So if you're playing a casual deck with some Planeswalkers in it, this is definitely worth consideration for EDH or something. Could even show up in Legacy. I mean, tutoring up something like, let's say, a Karn or an Ugin or a Nicol Bolas for 4 mana is a pretty spectacular deal. So Arena Rector is just a really cool callback, really cool flavor card, and seems like it can be really powerful. So I expect people to be trying it in Commander, and this is one of the cards that I wouldn't be surprised to see like Nick Fit decks at least attempting to work with in Legacy. Because like I said, an Ugin or a Karn as early as like turn 3, that's a really powerful play and a really powerful line. So Arena Rector, super sweet. Moving on, we have another Mythic, and this one is also really fun. I don't expect this one to show up in Legacy, but this card seems great for Commander. So Archfiend of Despair, 8 mana, you get a 6/6 flyer. Your opponents can't gain life, and at the beginning of each end step, each opponent loses life equal to the life that player lost that turn. So, what do you do with Archfiend of Despair? You can obviously just play it and, you know, let the game go along. Your opponents naturally lose some life. They lose a little more life thanks to Archfiend, but there's some combos that can turn Archfiend of Despair into instant wins. So, for example, if you have a Havoc Festival out, you go to your opponent's turn. You also gotta have your Archfiend, but whatever. You go to your opponent's turn, on their upkeep, that player's gonna lose half of their life, and then when you go to their end step, your opponent's gonna lose the other half of their life equal to the life lost that turn. You can kill one player with Blood Tribute, assuming you can tap a vampire to kick it, but again, losing half the life, Archfiend deals the other half. Probably the sweetest combo, though, is just getting a Scythe Claw on your Archfiend of Despair. Scythe Claw, an equipment that makes it so when the equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses half of their life. So if you get a Scythe Claw on an Archfiend of Despair, you have the ultimate killing machine. You attack with Archfiend, it's got flying, so it has evasion, you hit your opponent, they lose half their life thanks to Scythe Claw, and then you go to their end step, your opponent gonna lose the other half of their life, all their life, they're dead. It just kills them in one shot. So a really cool combo to try to assemble. So I think Archfiend of Despair definitely going to show up as a build around in Commander decks. Little disappointed it's not legendary, so you can always have access to it, but it is black, so you got tons of tutors to find it. So I'm definitely excited to try to build the one-shot Archfiend deck, because there are several ways you can combo off, and just one turn or one attack with Archfiend with the right card on the battlefield kills an opponent, or maybe even kills all your opponents over the course of their turns. Next we have another Mythic, and this is another card that maybe is in the conversation for eternal play, Stunning Reversal. So for 4 mana, you get an instant, makes it so next time you would lose the game this turn, you instead draw 7 cards and your life total becomes 1, and then you gotta exile it, so you can't keep doing it again and again and again. So Stunning Reversal is kind of like an Angel's Grace. Some slight differences, you can't keep killing yourself with Stunning Reversal or you're gonna die, but you can do some sweet tricks with it. it, where you cast an ad nauseum, start losing all that life, already have the stunning reversal out. The first time you get to 0, instead of dying, you're going to go back to 1, and you're going to draw 7 cards for free, or Spoils of the Vault to dig through your library. Sure, you kill yourself. However, you're also going to draw 7 cards, your life total goes back up to 1. So there's some really sweet tricks you can do by killing yourself to draw 7 cards, and drawing 7 cards is pretty powerful as it is. Plus, that's not even considering the fact that you can just play this fairly. Like, wait till your opponent casts that lethal burn spell at your face and be like, haha, I'm not dying. Instead, I'm going to 1, and I'm drawing 7, so I have all these cards to kill you on the backswing. Moving on our list, we have Stolen Strategy. So moving from the world of mythics to the world of rares. And this card is basically built for Itali commander decks. I mean, you can play in any deck. 5 mana enchantment at the beginning of your upkeep, you exile the top card of each opponent's library. You get to cast those cards, spending mana of any color. So basically, you are drawing 1, 2, 3 extra cards each turn, assuming you're playing 4-player commander. That is a lot of cards that you are drawing for free every single turn. And if you're playing commander, everyone has powerful, sweet cards. It fixes your mana so you can cast them. So this definitely works well with like the Itali, steal your opponent's stuff type strategy. But I definitely think that you will just play this in almost any red commander deck. Even if you're not built around primarily stealing your opponent's stuff, just as an enchantment that's roughly draw 3 cards each turn. Sure, you'll hit land sometimes, so it's less than 3 technically, but it's still a huge boost of card advantage for a mono red deck. Repeatable card advantage, so it seems like a really sweet, really fun card for Commander. Next, we have Gameplan, which is basically an assist version of Time Twister, a little bit like Wheel of Fortune as well, but basically 6 mana. Each player shuffles their hand and graveyard into their library, draws 7 cards. You gotta exile Gameplan, but whatever. The cool thing about Gameplan is it's one of the assist cards that people will actually assist you with, I think. People love refilling their hand. Like, if you're playing a commander game, and let's say you have 3 or 4 cards in your hand, but you could still use an improvement. Maybe you have an opponent that has 1 card in hand, or 0 cards in hand, because something went wrong, they got hit by discard. You could probably talk that opponent into paying a lot of the mana on Gameplan. Be like, I need my mana. I have this game plan. I'm pretty okay with my hand, but I don't think I really want to cast it. I don't know. What do you think? And be like, you know what? I'll cast it, but I'm only spending that 1 blue mana. So if you want me to game plan, you got to pay all 5 of the assist cost, and then you get a new hand, and you have almost all your mana to cast stuff with. So I feel like there's a ton of great political ramifications and ways to kind of manipulate a multiplayer commander game to make this into a 1 mana Time Twister, which is really insane. Plus, 6 mana, I mean, it's not great, but even if you gotta pay full cost sometimes, you can still get by with it. Worst case, you can pay half of it, make someone else pay half, and you're getting an actual Time Twister out of the deal. So I feel like there's definitely a lot of sweet trickery and politics that'll go on with this card in Commander, and because it can be so beneficial for other players, if you play the politics game right, you can definitely cast this for a really low cost, and if you're casting this for 1 and 2 mana, it is incredibly, incredibly powerful. Next up, we have the return of partners. We have a bunch of partners to talk about today. We're going to talk about our rare partners first. So, Regna the Redeemer, which is a big angel, 4/4 for 5. If you gain life, you get a couple of warriors at the beginning of each end step. It's got flying. The cool thing here is it partners with Krav the Unredeemed. And I hear you wondering, what does Krav do? Krav is probably the more powerful aspect of this combo-y pair. So 5 mana, you get a 3/3 demon, partners with Regna, which remember, if you're not playing them as your commander, which you can because they're legends and they partner with, you can tutor up the other one when you cast the first one. But the ability here is pay a black, sack X creatures, target player draws X cards, gains X life, that put X counters on Krav the Unredeemed. So you're growing it, you're drawing cards, or making someone else draw cards if you're trying to play politics, or your teammate if it's two-headed giant. The important thing about this combo is Regna triggers each end step, which means if you get both of these on the battlefield, all you need is 1 sackable creature, and you get a ton of value as you go around a 4-player commander game. Because on your first opponent's turn, you sack that 1 creature, you gain a life, you draw a card, you grow your Krav, end of that turn you get 2 warriors, so then, on the next opponent's turn. You sack both creatures, draw 2 cards, gain 2 life, grow your craft some more, get those 2 creatures back at the end of their turn, do it again. So you could be drawing an entire new hand of cards with just 1 extra creature and the combo of Regna and Krav over the course of a turn cycle in a commander game. So I think this is super powerful. I love the Angel and Demon idea. I think this will definitely be a popular commander pairing, I guess, partnering, because this really works well with what Black and White like to do. The self-sacrifice stream, you get some big commanders that can grow each other, generate tokens. It kind of hits on all the flavors of Black and White. So I think this will be definitely a fun build around for Commander. We also got some lower rarity partners, and these ones are not legendary, so you're not using them as your commander, but you can still tutor them out. So you cast Proud Mentor, you can get your Imperious Prodigy, vice versa, and Proud Mentor and Imperious Prodigy, basically the tap and pump, or pump and dump, or whatever you want to call it. The idea is you use your Proud Mentor to tap a creature, hopefully a big creature, and then when Prodigy attacks, it gets +X+0, where X is the greatest power among tapped creatures your opponents control. So you tap down to your opponent's huge 10 power Eldrazi, and your Imperious Prodigy is suddenly hitting as a 10-4 for 3 mana or something. So kind of a neat lower rarity partnering. Then we have Soulblade Renewer and Soulblade Corruptor as a partner pair, and this was pretty simple. Soulblade Renewer has a support mechanic, enters the battlefield, you put a +1/+1 counter on up to 2 card creatures. Then Corruptor has Death Touch. Whenever a creature with a +1/+1 counter on it attacks one of your opponents, that creature gains Death Touch until end of turn. So basically you dump counters on your stuff, and then you get Death Touch when you attack with the creatures that you dump counters on. Not super powerful, but I mean, it's a fun little synergy, I guess, that you could play in a green black deck that cares about counters. If you got your Double League season or something, it definitely gets scarier. Moving on, we have another rare, and this one doesn't fit in any of the mechanics or partners, but it's still a fun casual build around. Generous Sponsor. And you get a 1/4 for 3 mana. The ability, though, is super sweet. Whenever you put 1 or more counters on a creature you don't control, you get to draw a card. So if you have things that are putting counters on everything, or you are using support to put counters on your teammates if you're playing 2-headed giant creatures, or if you're playing some sort of weird group huggy, put counters on your opponent's stuff, decking Commander, you're drawing a ton of cards by having the Elf Advisor on the battlefield. So I think this is a really cool build around type card for casual decks. Putting counters on your own stuff is simple. Everyone does that. But putting counters on your opponent's stuff is a really fun idea. So I'm sure there's some sweet combos out there. If you got some ideas of how to build around Generous Sponsor, make sure to let me know, because I think it's a really, really cool idea and a really fun card. So I mentioned in the intro Reprint Central, and we have some insane valuable reprints coming in Battlebond. So at the start of our list of reprints today, we have 2 mythics, True Name Nemesis, Land Tax. Both of these cards are in the $30-ish range. True Name, Legacy staple. Land Tax was banned in Legacy for a long time, now unbanned, definitely a casual staple. These cards are very, very powerful and very valuable. Remember, these are $4 packs. We're not paying the $10 Master Pack price. These are normal $4 packs, so cracking a $30 mythic like True Name Nemesis or a $30 mythic like Land Tax, that is a huge win out of a $4 pack. That's how you pay for your box really quickly with a couple of good mythic opens. So super excited to see these cards returning. As far as the cards themselves, True Name is a miserable card to play against, but remember, Battlebond focused on 2-headed giant, focused on Commander. In those formats where you got multiple players, not as bad because it only has protection from one player. In 1v1, it's a miserable card to play against because it just has protection from anything. It's like a little Progenitus, basically. Land Tax gets better if you can shuffle your library, so you tutor out lands. Sure, you're drawing 3 cards, but they're only lands. However, if you have like a scroll rack or ways to manipulate the cards in your hand, brainstorm and shuffle effects, you can really turn that into real card advantage super quickly. Worst case, you're just thinning the lands out of your deck. More importantly, just a ton of value with these cards being reprinted in Battlebond. And the value train doesn't stop there. Moving down to the rares, Diabolic Intent over $20. Vigor, almost $20. Solar Temptation, over $10. Really valuable reprints. Also, Tidespout Tyrant, not super expensive, but it does have Sweet Noir. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention as well, with True Name Nemesis, first time being reprinted in foil. So it's going to be super, super expensive. If you get lucky and crack a foil, expecting that to be hundreds of dollars most likely, because it's never been in foil before. Anyway, back to these cards. Diabolic Intent, Sweet Tutor lets you sacrifice something if you have a self-sacrifice themed deck. Vigor is just really big and makes your team really big, so we're good at stealing your opponent's stuff. So a lot of value in the rare slot as well. Again, for $4 packs, when you crack a $10 rare, like So We're a Temptation, in a master pack, you're kind of like, okay, I broke even, like I guess that's cool. But when you crack a $10 rare, like So We're a Temptation, and a $4 Battlebond pack, you're coming out like 2.5 times ahead, and that's not even including the Vigors and Diabolic Intent. So great cards for Commander. Vigor, staple. Sower, staple. Tidesbound, playable. Diabolic Intent, not one of the best tutors, I don't think, but it's definitely playable if you can build around this synergy of sacrificing your stuff and get some value out of that. Then we have some lower rarity reprints. Veteran Explorer, Swords to Plowshares. I just love Swords to Plowshares. It's been reprinted a million times, and I'm still excited every time I see it, because it's just a powerful, iconic card. Veteran Explorer gets some super sweet new art, and part of the Nick fit deck in Legacy also can be a good ramp spell in Commander, not as heavily played there because it ramps everyone, so it kind of throws this weird curveball in the game. But in Legacy, people don't really play that many basic lands, so if you build your deck to have a ton of basics, your opponent doesn't, then you're ramping X2, your opponent maybe not getting that much advantage out of it, and even if they get advantage out of the first one, the next time you sack a Veteran Explorer, they're probably out of lands, you're getting more lands, ramp into huge things super quickly, so a really fun reprint there as well. And that brings us to the end of our daily Battlebond spoilers for today. So what do you think of these new cards? How good is Arena Rector? Is that going to be really good in Commander? Does it have a chance in Legacy? How about Archfiend of Despair? What other combos are there? Stunning Reversal. Can that show up in Eternal formats? Stolen Strategy, Game Plan, all the sweet casual stuff. The new partners. What about the reprints? True Name, Land Tax, Diabolic Intent, Vigor. So much value in this set. I'm getting super hyped. I think this set is going to be way better than my expectation was, because Wizards is just nailing it with the reprints. I don't know why they don't do this with every master set and just make it so... I'm so hyped right now because there's just so much value and so many sweet cards to open. I wish we got that feeling with master sets more often, but at least we're getting it with Battlebond. And I guess if there was going to be a set this year stuffed full of value, this is probably a better set because, like I said, $4 a pack, so it's more accessible to everyone compared to spending $200 and some on a booster box of a master set. So anyway, those have been our daily Battlebond spoilers for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.